GM, welcome to what's going to be another fantastic episode of DevNTell. So, if you're not familiar, DevNTell is a 30-minute podcast held every week, allowing founders, hackers, and anyone in between an opportunity to come on the show and showcase their product. And today, I'm ecstatic to welcome back on the show Trevor Miller, who's the founder of BitBadges. So, if you're not familiar, BitBadges offers tokenization as a service, gating as a service, and many other tools for you to build your next multi-chain dApp. So if you stick around for today's episode, you'll see Trevor give us an overview of all the new things built into the BitBadges platform and how you can get started with them today. All right, let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of DevNTell is brought to you by our friends at Arbitrum. Arbitrum is a technology suite designed to scale Ethereum. You can use Arbitrum chains to do all the things you do on Ethereum, but your transactions will be cheaper and faster. With over 3.8 million ETH saved, 1.69 million active wallets, and over 1.7 billion total transactions, why would you want to settle for any less? Get started today by exploring Arbitrum's comprehensive docs and tutorials linked in the description below to help you get started launching your next dApp today. Now, on to today's show. GM, welcome to the show, Trevor. Ecstatic to have you back today, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. So I think I was telling you off air, but I believe this is your fourth appearance on the show, which makes you a DevNTell champ. Always happy to host you here on the show. They always end up being really great. But in case some people today aren't familiar with you or haven't caught those other episodes, would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Trevor, founder of BitBadges, and basically what BitBadges is we are trying to build the best token standard out there. It's gone through a couple of iterations, as you may have seen in the past couple episodes, but pretty much the problem we're trying to solve is that we think that blockchain tokenization is like the best primitive for crypto out there, but the current standards and infrastructure just aren't in place or good enough to support 90% of applications that want to build in crypto. Like for example, your NFTs, your ERC-721s are just like simple mint transfer cell, and it's been like that for 10 years now, or almost 10 years, 2017. And it just over time the industry has kind of built up a lot of tech debt, and it's kind of just outdated at the moment. And we've kind of took the best features of all the existing token standards and built our own from the ground up. We're our own blockchain, own app, and we kind of run the full stack. So I'll explain more about it in the episode, but yeah, as for me, this is kind of my first real job out of college. Just I had an idea and went with it, and here we are today. It's been about like 3 years of development, and now we're kind of ready to take it to the next level. So yeah.
Amazing, man. Yeah, like every time I've looked into the platform, I've seen that you basically went bonkers and packed it full of all these awesome features, almost to the point where the docs are kind of encyclopedia in the sense that there's so much content in there, which is amazing. It's very rare to see that content-rich doc style in the Web3 space, anyways.
It's a good problem to have.
That's right.
Rather
That's
than the
right.
other way
Indeed.
around. Yeah, that's kind of
Indeed.
been one of our things. It's almost like too complex for just to understand, but like that's the
Right.
beauty of it. It's just so feature rich, so many cool things you can do with it, and that's kind of pretty much what our goal is, just to build it to be the best and only token standard you'll ever need.
Awesome. Yeah, that's quite the ambitious goal, but yeah, man, you've been iterating the past 2-3 years, like you mentioned, and when you did first start it, did you basically start it on your own, or did you have a co-founder with you?
Yeah, so I still kind of have a co-founder, but it's more in a more advisory role. at the moment. He just didn't have the full time commitment to commit to the platform. And when we're trying to take it to the next level, you obviously need everyone all hands on. But yeah, so it's kind of gone through a couple of iterations. We started it out on a different blockchain as our own app, and we kind of pivoted to our own blockchain because we kind of saw the need to have full customization, full control, and actually build out our vision. And so yeah, then 2 years later, here we are. So it's pretty cool to see everything come together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I guess with that, I will let you take the stage, share your screen. I know you got a lot of great content packed for us. And for people who are watching today, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat and we will get them answered for you as we're going. All right. All right.
Yeah.
The stage is yours. Go for it.
Cool. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, BitBadges, like I said, we're trying to build the best token standard out there. So pretty much, as you can see, it's one token standard that you can use for anything from your NFTs to your subscriptions to membership, just anything you want to tokenize on the blockchain. We can support it. And kind of what makes our token standard the best out there is, like I said, the amount of features. So I'm going to go through, like I can talk about this for hours, but I'll just go through a high level about like what we offer in terms of our token standard. So the first and kind of the main feature is that it's the same token for any user from any chain. So as you can see, like a Solana user and Ethereum user can own and transfer the same tokens between them. We're not like interoperable in the sense that we're sending cross-chain, but it's all scoped to the BitBadges blockchain. So, I mean, you can imagine that like a neutral Web3 company or Web2 company like Netflix, they don't want to split their user base. They just want to, have an all-in-one place to support all their users. They don't want to, deploy 10 different tokens on 10 different chains. They just want one token that is compatible for any user. It's kind of like the equivalent of like if, the X iPhone app was not compatible with the X Android app, and they were kind of two separate entities. That's kind of the current state of crypto at the moment. So yeah, I mean, that's a very neat feature that kind of hasn't been seen before. I know it may not be like fully a need right now because like maybe 80% of users are Ethereum based, but I mean, you can imagine that it's a very adds a lot of value to a developer getting into the space. This second feature that I want to highlight is that everything is no code by default. So we built it from the ground up more like with an API format. So there's no smart contracts, no nothing. It's all Insight, all no code by default. You can extend it with smart contracts. As you see here, we have we're going to get an EVM layer to our chain coming soon. And we also support the Cosmos native smart contract layer. But again, I just want to emphasize that you do not need them. It's the same code that'll be battle tested over time. It's a module approach. So all you have to do is configure your parameters and you're good to go. And our goal is to make it so that you never have to extend it with any smart contract. And I think we're pretty close with all the features we have, but that's obviously still an option. So the next feature that I just want to highlight is the time-dependent balances. So we built the token standard from the ground up, basically where we do all the native accounting for the balances down to the millisecond. So pretty much I can know who owns, like what the supply will be at a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, and like the distribution without needing to update or you can think of them more as like ownership rights. So for example, I can transfer the ownership rights for July to someone else. I can transfer the ownership rights for August to someone else. And that opens up a lot of cool use cases like subscriptions that auto renew, lending, anything like that, token unlocks. It's all supported natively with no smart contracts. And yeah, so we're uniquely positioned as our own Cosmos blockchain. So we have a ton of integrations and features at our disposal. Like I said, we support the 2 smart contract layers, but we also can support any Cosmos denominations such as USDC, your osmosises, even like the wrapped ETH and Bitcoin on Cosmos we can support. In BetaNet, we're currently only supporting USDC, but all those other ones can be added with a snap of a finger pretty much. And then with Cosmos, if you're not familiar, they have their own native interoperability framework where you can basically just interact with any Cosmos chain through this framework, and our tokens are wrappable to that format. So, for example, you might create a token with 100 million supply on our chain, but then send 10 million supply to another chain seamlessly. So it's pretty cool because you not only get access to our features, but you can send to any Cosmos chain, any EVM through this interoperability framework, which is really, really neat and pretty feature rich. Yeah. So another, like I mentioned in the intro, existing standards are just mint, transfer, sell. What we did is we took transferability and 1,000x'd it. So we fine-grained it down to like, how many transfers, what times, who can like initiate, just any sort of transferability requirements you need, we can offer. So freezability, revocability, all this is supported on-chain. And then you can also connect to any off-chain app, as you see here. So for example, you can gate mints by Discord server membership. You can gate it just by anything. You can do it with we have a bunch of insight plugins that I'll show you later on, but also you have, you can extend it with your own logic. So you can see, you can set up your own endpoint, AI agent, whatever, and gate mints or approvals however you want. And yeah, so I know that was a lot, but it's kind of a high level of what we offer. As you can see, it just feature after feature after feature, all supported in no code, all just native to the Cosmos module. And with that, you can also build out some like pretty cool standards and interfaces. So I think the easiest way to explain that is just to kind of show you and get into the creation process. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, I'm connected with my Solana account, but you can also, sign in with your Ethereum, Cosmos wallets. We're compatible with all of them.
And then I also saw you had the option of signing in with Google's email and whatnot. If someone were to do that, would they get a BitBadges wallet created underneath the hood, or?
Yeah, so we use Privy for this. Privy is one of the industry leading standards, and they manage this. So they map your like an Ethereum wallet to your Google account, Twitter account, and you can manage it through that. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a like self-custody wallet, but it would be managed by Privy. But it makes it a lot easier for mobile compatibility, and it's just another option that we offer.
Right on.
So yeah, the creation process is super simple, as I mentioned. It's all no code by default. These are kind of the 6 main services that we offer. The first 3 are tokens, on-chain tokens, and these are kind of like off-chain extensions that kind of reuse part of our tools and services. But I'll just show you the subscriptions. As you can see, it's just a simple form that you just can accept, just configure it however you want, a $10 a month USDC subscription. And it's as easy as just add some placeholders. See, it's all on chain. You can just as easy as that. You'll just sign and submit it, and then you have your no code recurring subscription created on chain. It's all tokenized behind the scenes. As you can see, it uses the complex standard, but I mean, it's all very, very easy to create insight. Then it's all decentralized, no code, and yeah. So subscriptions are like a kind of streamlined standard. They use some of the features of badges, but you might be able, but it doesn't use all of them. It's a cool use case, but if you want full customizability, you can actually go to the badge interface and have complete control over your whole like token collection. So I'm just going to click through a couple here, but yeah, I mean, you can see it's wrappable to Cosmos. You can trade it with any native currency. You can do NFTs. You can do fungible tokens. You can customize it however you want. But like I mentioned, the main benefit of it is the approval interface. So approvals on chain can check any criteria from any app. So you can see here, you can authenticate users from emails, Discords. You can check your own criteria. You can check Discord membership. You can check other badges. You can, and all this is no code insight, as you see here. We have tons of plugins already supported. You just build your criteria checks as you wish. And then, you can like gate your mints by it. So you can gate mints by Discord membership. You can gate mints by email. You can gate by secret claim codes. Just anything you want, you can check. And that's all done off chain. And then we handle the on chain hybrid checks. But then you can also customize a ton on chain. So for example, you might want to only allow mints for a specific time. You only want to allow mints to specific recipients. You can request different transfer method or actual like tokens being transferred behind the scenes. Just tons of different stuff. You have full control over the amounts, the number of times the approvals used, the ownership times it approves. And yeah, so you can imagine that once you put a couple approvals together, including like the post minting too, you can pretty much just gate your collection however you want with complex transferability requirements. Maybe you want like, if you need KYC, you can easily implement that. If you want revocability, you can easily implement that. If you want to implement like on-chain token unlocks, you can easily implement that just with this approval interface that you can just customize as needed. And this is continuously evolving, so we're just going to keep adding new features to it. So yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about everything that we offer, but as you can see, it's a complex standard, but it's all in an easy to use no code interface. It just quick, you can set it up in 12 steps, and then bang, you just sign the transaction, and you have an on-chain decentralized no code token created. And like I said, it's usable for anything. So it can be used for your NFTs, tokens, subscriptions, memberships, whatever.
This
Yeah.
is, I think, a good point. There's a couple questions from the crowd,
Yeah.
and I guess that I think this might be the spot for it.
Yeah.
So Twilip asks that he wants to create a cross-chain renting NFT. He wants to do cross-chain renting NFTs to tokenize leasing style agreements. Is it possible to do that type of that type of product with the BitBadges platform?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, stuff like that is kind of what we built it for. I mean, with leasing, especially, like the time-dependent balances are very beneficial because like you can like transfer the ownership rights for the next 12 months, let's say. You can put all like the advanced leasing stuff a into the approval requirements. Like, you know, if this happens, you can revoke the lease. If this happens, like, you know, and it would be, you know, supported by any user from any chain. So, I mean, yeah, definitely that kind of stuff is what we built it for. Like that stuff is not possible with existing NFTs or ERC20s. And that's kind of where we fit in. So yeah, definitely.
Amazing. There you go. Yeah. And I guess in terms of features, uh, do you have or do you plan to integrate like any AI into the platform?
Yeah, so we do we have experimented a little. I mean, it's a little weird with like you can spin up an AI agent with its own wallet and just sign stuff as needed. Um, like stuff like the subscriptions have like auto recurring bots behind the scenes. I wouldn't call that AI, but like it's like a kind of agent like framework that kind of renew your subscriptions for you. What you can do too, though, is like because the claims are what we call like the criteria builder for like mints or whatever, is that you can, for example, like hook into you can call like an MCP server and gate your claim that way. You can even do it on the flip side, you know, where like if you successfully claim, it triggers an AI action like sending a success email, like, you know. So it's through this interface, the plugin interface, you can do a lot because it's just you can either on one hand you can check the criteria with any sort of AI requirements that you configure, and on the other hand you can implement rewards however you want. So you can gate anything, you can auto, you know, offer utility for membership, for if you own the badge, just anything on that front as well. Um, in terms of like actually on the platform, we do have a couple ideas. I mean, our docs are, we try and make them as AI friendly as possible. But within the platform, there isn't too much like AI used because I mean, it's just, you need a wallet attached to it. And like our whole kind of architecture is self-custody. So like, if anything, it would have to be implemented on the wallet level.
Gotcha. And I guess to shift gears a little bit,
Mhm.
Pull-up also has another great question around DeFi, and if
Yep.
there's any types of use cases or integrations that you've seen or have rather in the platform.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call it's right now we offer like an order book style interface for kind of like fungible tokens. I don't know if I have anything created yet, but pretty much you can create fungible tokens and have like an order book style interface. At this moment in time, it's more of like a proof of concept. Like you're not really like our feature set is not comparable to like your hyperliquids or your even osmosis and stuff. And we kind of made that decision where yes, you can, it's a token standard, you can use it for anything, including any DeFi protocol tokenization that you need. But due to our like Cosmos interoperability, we kind of just leave that to your osmosises, your exchanges on Cosmos. Like you can create, like for example, you can create the token. Let's say you want to send 20% of the supply to osmosis. You can easily do that through just IBC compatibility. So let me actually see if I have this up. It's another placeholder collection, but let's see. Yeah, so as you can see, you can wrap native badges. So you mint the badge through the standard platform and framework, but then you can wrap them to native Cosmos denominations. So then you can, you can transfer it to Osmosis, you can transfer it to any Cosmos enabled chain. And pretty much Cosmos has a bunch of DeFi protocols that you might want to tap into, and pretty much this is completely open-ended too. So you can, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we have any created at the moment or integrations. We're still kind of pre-launch. We're kind of trying to figure out what's next. But yeah, you can definitely connect to any DeFi protocol in Cosmos, and we also envision that we, in the future, support a lot of teams building protocols on top of our token standard too.
Gotcha. Great question, and I guess there's a follow-up. We'll get that up. To confirm, is the EVM compatibility live or will be live soon? This, yeah.
So it is coming soon. We are waiting for the official, like it's pretty easy to implement because it's just a Cosmos module. But we're kind of waiting for it's being worked on currently by the Cosmos Hub, and they're in the process of auditing it and getting it ready for production. So we're kind of just waiting for that at the moment. I want to say their timeline is around like September for when it's going to be done, and I think we'll kind of revisit it at that time. But obviously, we don't want to put out like a production or a non-production ready module. The Wasm layer is going to be live in a couple days, actually. So you can. So I mean, again, EVM compatibility. Oh, and I should also go back and say that with IBC, you can also send to with the IBC Eureka, you can also send to EVM. So, for example, you could wrap it as a IBC token, send it to another EVM chain, and launch on Uniswap too. So, I mean, this EVM layer is just for our own native chain, and that's kind of what we're waiting on. But a lot of possibilities with just like interoperability and IBC too.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great, and great question to all yeah, and I know we're kind of closing in on time, but wanted to ask. So you showed that the platform is no code first, but
Yes.
Are all these capabilities that you've built also available through API?
Yes. So we have a couple layers I can explain it as. So the creation process, the transfers, like anything you can do is no code. But it's also its own public blockchain. So you can, build your own front end and just submit transactions based that way. The best way to see that is the docs. So you can see here, like our module defines a bunch of pre-set messages that you can just like delete create collection. It'll walk you through the whole process in the docs. And pretty much you submit these messages to the blockchain, and then you can build any sort of front end on top of that. So there's that. And then we also offer our own like indexer / API, basically where you can, if you don't need like direct interaction with the blockchain, you can like fetch balances, you can get account information, you can get like different information about like, owners, metadata, just anything you need. So it's also available in that format too that we offer.
Awesome. And I guess if people watching today want to get started with BitBadges, like what's the easiest way for them to do like a Hello World project? Do you have any GitHub starter templates, or what would you suggest?
Okay, I'll answer in two parts. I mean, first, if you're just literally wanting to explore, I mean, we always say that the site is the best way to learn. Just literally go to the create page and kind of just play around with all the features. In most, like our goal is that in most cases, it's no code all the way through. Now, obviously, I mean, this is a developer DAO, DevNTell, so there's probably a lot of developers here. if you want to kind of extend it, build your own custom stuff on top of BitBadges. I mean, the docs is probably the best way to go. I mean, I think it's hard to answer that in one go because like there's a lot of like hybrid methods too. For example, like you can set up like a custom API call that like you can, it's no code by default. You can set it up in the site, but then you'd have to handle your own, you know, handle the post requests at your endpoint however you want. So I mean, honestly, the best way to get started is just to explore the site, learn, see what we offer. If you have any questions, refer to the docs or even ask me in the Discord. Yeah, and I just want to extend the offer that like if anyone needs any like development Kickstarter budget, if anyone needs anything like that, let me know. We're happy to subsidize developers, anyone building on the platform, or even just people wanting to experiment. So yeah, let me know with that, and yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, you kind of answered it towards the tail end. But if people do want to get in touch with you, is the best way through Discord? Are there any other ways like through X or anything like that you would suggest?
Yeah, I mean, Discord's probably the best way. That's probably where we're the most active. But yeah, Discord or Telegram, I can provide those links later on, or I'll drop them. Yeah, but I'd say Discord is probably where I'm most active.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. If you are looking to get started with BitBadges, I mean, it's a nice weekend exploratory project. If you want to start hacking away with them, definitely give the site a visit. All the links, including this website and the docs, and the various communication channels will be linked in the description below. So you'll definitely want to give that a play around this weekend. And I guess before we conclude today, Trevor, is there anything, any alpha that you might want to share around roadmap things for the upcoming, for the rest of the year or 2026?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like as you can see, it's all live, it's all running, it's on its own blockchain. And at this moment in time, we're just trying to figure out what's next, kind of seeing just literally all options are on the table. So we don't pretty much our roadmap is wide open at the moment. So if you have any connections or anything you want to see us do, let us know. You can kind of consider us in the foreseeable future to be like in a chaos net or beta net, where it's live, it's running, but use at your own risk kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, as you can see down here, we have a little roadmap section. Just pretty much our goal for the moment is just to ship fast, iron out bugs, and just pretty much improve the core product and kind of get people onboarded, grow the ecosystem, and then once we're audited, battle tested, and so on, we can look to expand. Maybe adding more Cosmos currencies onto the platform. You can add, just do stuff more for real, I guess. But yeah, definitely treat it now as like a use at your own risk kind of thing. I mean, we have full faith in the platform, but I mean, we can't guarantee anything at the moment with just not as many, with it's just not battle tested at the moment. So yeah, so in terms of the rest of the year, I mean, it's just kind of more building it out. Like we don't have too many major features. Like up until this point, we've always had like one more thing that we needed to do to kind of complete the stack, and now it's kind of like it just improved what we have. So yeah.
Gotcha. And I mean, you've done a fantastic job of iterating on the platform. So it's really awesome to see how far the product has come. So kudos for you
Appreciate it.
on that. And Yeah, just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on the show today, and yeah, for all the developers that are watching today, definitely give BitBadges a chance. It's a nice weekend hack, especially the platform being no code first. So all those, like I mentioned, all those resources will be in the description below of this podcast. And yeah, with that, just want to wish everybody a very happy Friday, happy weekend wherever you may be, and we'll catch you back here next week for another great episode of DevNTell. Till then, have a good one, folks. Cheers.